my soul. Yeah. Leave it all on the floor.
What's up, people? This is Inflewence. I'm back with a review. This is DX9's Gabriel, which is their take on Omega Supreme. It's a giant boy. It's a big boy, so it's hard fitting in the screen. You gonna see all the extra stuff, all my lights and stuff like that for now. Please excuse my voice if you hear. I've been sick for like 2 weeks. Oh man, I posted a video. I went to Miami last week. If you want to check that video out, it's the video before this one. Go check it out. But yeah, I was sick in Miami. It was a mess, but I still had fun. Me and my lady, you know, we did our thing. It was good to get out the cold because, you know, I'm in the Northeast and it's getting cold out here. But anyway, this is Gabriel. I decided to do a review for him because I got it when it first came out, like a couple years ago, I think. Can't remember, but I never did a review on it because I never had enough space to do a review on such a massive figure. On my typical fashion, I start out not in robot, but in alt mode most of the time. Some things come in alt mode, so I start out in robot. I start out the opposite that it comes because I think I told you before, I know some people don't like that, but I do it because some people need to know how to get back from alt mode to, you know, it's not as simple to some people as it might be to others. And I just like to do it that way because there's not a lot of reviews that do it that way. They start out with how it comes. So, I mean, you can look at the instructions for that if you can follow them. But he's pretty simple and fun. And I like, for the most part, the main body is all one piece. Even though he's a parts former, of course, he's always going to be a parts former. Let me show you around why I'm talking. It's going to be a lot of handheld action just to get all the details. So, just going to show you some of his articulation. So, for one, no treads, no real treads, and they don't really have a track to sit on. So as you can see, he'll move all over. But as a display piece, it's fine. You can go up here, have him right there, get him right there. So you can see. So let me go around. I'll show you everything. So the track is very long. This table is a 4-foot square table, and I got a diagonal, and you see it's hanging off. So I mean, you know, it's just a 4-foot square card table. This, as you can tell, is the main body, but it does have some features. Go up in there, like little, it's hollow, so it's like the walk up to get to the, but I just turned my mic on. So here's the track. Of course, it goes all the way around. And I was showing off the little ramp where you go up and get inside the main building, so you can get over on here. The rocket's pretty good. Show the rocket off a little bit. You have the little ramp that comes all the way down. I'm gonna show some figures, some legends, and it's pretty heavy too. As you can see, it's making indentations in my card table. So yeah, as far as the tank, which is the main thing, but go through some articulations of the tank. So of course I showed the wheels. It's 4 wheels. It's not real treads. It's kind of hollow inside. It's pretty heavy though. This goes all the way up like that, all the way down. You can spin this all the way around. It has, I'll show it to you now. This is where his face, you can turn it around and see his face, but when it's in tank mode, it has a little computer chair for a guy. I'm not sure if Diaclone guy, which is, you know, this is where this comes from, is Diaclone. You can also pull this up. I usually use it in robot mode, so it gets some more action. So you get some more, it's like a hinge. So if you pull it up, I usually, like I said, I use it in robot mode because then you can get more expression of the head. It's not fixed. I think it's supposed to be down in tank mode, but something that you can do. These little guns move up and down both sides, and that's pretty much it for the articulation. Let me show now the rocket, which I showed a little bit already. Come over here. It has the thing that comes down, and you can just, you don't have to have it out. You can put it up, so it's just a rocket. And actually both sides, this top pulls out too. But I think it's mainly how I think it's just the design that they did in order to see how this pulls out, goes down. This does the same exact, or you didn't see that. Pulls out, goes down, you know, you flip it around. This does the same exact thing. If I can get it out. It's pretty tight, especially when you first get it. So it's the opposite direction because I believe it's just the way they made these two rockets exactly the same, the two halves, and just put different tops on them. So I just believe that's why they did it that way. Also, when it's time to go into robot mode, you open this up and it's easier to get this out, which is the connection for the arm. So put that down. We get some figures to compare him to. Got some figures to compare him to. Got some legends. This is Unique, I believe, Unique Toys Headmasters. I wish they would start making them again, but I think they made all the Headmasters. I'm not sure. They might have made all the Headmasters, but they were making legends for a minute. You know, they have a connection with DX9, but their legends were different from DX9, and I think they made great legends. We even got Cerebros, which I thought they were going to make a legend size Fort Max. This is the scale with the actual, and put this up here. Also got Optimus, you can see him in the back. So we got a tank on the tank. Yeah, that scales pretty well as far as with the tank, and I mean, it may fit, it could fit in the rocket. Optimus, not so much, but this base is never gonna, it's a base. Like bases and city bots, as the city, they're almost never gonna scale right. You know, Fort Max is coming. That's going, I like scale, but we can talk about that. We can talk about that. That's a discussion for a later day. Fort Max, which I do want to get into that discussion. But this is how they look. I think it looks good. Like it works, especially the legends. But as I said, nothing's gonna scale with something that was this big. Like Optimus and all the Autobots rode to space in him. So that's not gonna scale right. It's just not. So yeah, let's get these guys up out of here. Most people have an Optimus that are collectors, or that's a figure that most people will, if they're G1 collectors, they will have or will get eventually. And most of the Masterpiece Optimus, besides the finishes and stuff, are similarly scaled. So I try to always use him as an example, so people can understand and know how big or small they are. So yeah, I'm gonna try this piece by piece. So first we're gonna start with the tank, which is the main part of the body. Like to move this down and push these in. They have these little things, but it's so tight, it's just easier to just push them in with your finger. Get both sides. And see, they are connected. They're not just for show. But like I said, it's difficult. And to get them out, it's easier. You can push it out this way. But then when it gets a certain, like I pull it at the same time, but when it gets a certain, I just pull it out because it's tight, it's hard, it's still. Plus I haven't transformed this guy that much. So get this out the way. Pull this up in the middle. There's a couple double hinges. Put it down, and I'll keep it that way for now. Lift these up because they are, You can't lift them all the way up, but I just lift them up a little bit because they're pegged in. There's a peg. So do this side too. Just, or just leave it. I'll leave it like that. Pull this out. It's pegged in here. Flip it over like that. Then all this start to move. You don't want to move it yet though. This is pegged in there. Pull it out. It's hard to get the peg in, but it's usually easier to pull out. But be careful. I mean, it doesn't feel good. It sounds crazy, but pull it out, get it back down. Then you can move these in. Move them in. Then you can move these up just to get them out the way. These out the way. Then you can fold this. I think they fold like that. Fold these down like that. Lift these up. We fold this. But I don't think you do it yet. You gotta, this right here. Move the camera, shooting it down. This you want to push in, but it's pretty hard because it's on like a weird type of hinge. As you move, you can see it slides down. So it's especially harder to get out, but it's quite easy to get in. Push it in like that. You want to move these down like this. Then you move this down and there's a tab there, goes in there. You gotta get it all the way. So it's like a solid piece. You gotta push it down a little bit. Like it comes up a little. You gotta make sure you push it down, then it'll be lined up correctly. Which it is. You can see now it's lined up correctly. You can put that in there. This one already went in. So that's basically it. Turn this around, move this wherever you want, and then got the early head reveal. Same like Voltron, it's not at the end, so push that back in, and you have the face reveal. Have this part, big giant block. You set that aside. Work on the other pieces. One of the easiest pieces has tabs. As you can see, tabs. These little arm things come out. Like I said before, I don't know why I put these in. What side? Yeah, this side. But because you want to get this out. It's hard to get out. You can go in here, push it out. Much easier. You got the arm. Same thing over here. The claw, like close it just to give me some, you know, so it's not so, the footprint ain't so big. Which it's big anyway. So get that up. Get it back. One side. Two sides. That was easy. So this part, I might have to, put the camera down a little bit. May have to stand up to try to show you some of this. But first you want to take the tracks off. They just go on here. They have, you can see, 2 pegs, 2 holes underneath there. And you do that with both sides. And you got these tracks. These little pieces right here you want to pull up because it helps with the pegging. They can be a pain. I don't know. The one came up easily. It just so happened to come up when I took this out. I don't think it has anything to do with it. But this folds down like this to make it less. And then you fold this up. Holes right there. That's where these tab in. Then you can fold this wing down. And you have these molded details. And you have a wing done. You can also leave this up if you like. Wait, which side? This side. Also leave this up, and I'll show that. If you like a bigger wing, I don't know how you like your Omega Supreme. So yeah, well, I usually just lift it up and okay, that didn't work. I don't want to break it, but it's tight. Once you get it pegged in, it's tight. So probably should take your time. But this is a sturdy, like it doesn't feel like it's gonna break at all. Bend these wings down. You gotta get these up. Yeah, I don't think bending the wings has anything to do with it coming up easy. It's just tight. Make sure. And like I said, it doesn't feel like it's gonna break at all. You can't even see it. They sometimes come out a little, and you gotta put them in like that. So they go right into that hole. But once you do that, it's pretty sturdy. So put that on the side, and now for the main body. Now this gets a little complicated, but it's not super complicated. It's pretty cool actually. Oh, these things, I don't know. There's two pegs right here. I think I didn't peg it in because it is hard to get out, these pegs. Also the pegs here. How these peg in, it's easy if you know what you're doing, but the angle, it's like an angled peg. Be careful too. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break, but it could. Like when you put them in, you gotta lift this up, put them in at this angle, and then put them out. And they stay, they don't come out because of the angle. A lot of people try to pull them out and they're like, oh, it's hard. So you just, you know, these are like the leg things, just like the original. So again, if you have it at the right angle, it's not hard at all. It's just this angle. You can see that, the angle, the little lip. Yeah, so just a little tip, There's no easy way to do this, but I try to get this first. Right here is clamped together, but they're separate legs. So it's like one of those up and down. And he fell apart. See, I don't want, cause it's hard. Okay, I just did. I put it in tight now because I was tired of it flopping, and it's gonna be a mess to get out. But this, what I was saying. But this right here is like one of those up and down where you gotta puzzle piece it in, and then the other one is the opposite. So they stay very well. So this one is the opposite of the other one. So I think this one goes up, yeah. So once you do that, you can try to get these get this somewhat out the way, because it's like the legs. This is the skirt actually bent all the way. I mean the skirt. This is the waist joint that's actually bent. These are the skirts, the side skirts. They're all the way up, but the waist is actually all the way bent like this. So if you get this like this and out the way, then you can start to work on these legs, because you want to get these out the way as well from each other. So once you do that, then you can work on, you see this comes down like that. These, you want to push, you can't see that. So you can get the leg out as far as possible. this is where the issues come. This is where the issues ensue. With a bot this big. If you can see this, you bend that down, which is this one. I'm gonna do it over here. Bend this like this, cause it's just like a stabling thing. So you bend it like that. That's the same thing I did with that. And then you push it up into this piece. This piece was the piece that was like this. Hopefully you can see how everything is. Everything is one piece. So you gotta get all these legs together. What I like to do first, so I don't forget, is pull this out. Cause it's it's the part that pins onto the leg over here. So you want to pull that out. Push this foot up. You see all the workings. This thing that I bent together, and it's the same as on the other one. You overlap it. Then you can push it into this cavity right here. Well, really, you don't push it into the cavity. The cavity goes into it. But since I want to show this, because it's hard to explain. So when you put this down, this hole goes over here. So you'll see that. Now this, turn it upside down for you. That's what I'm gonna do. Turn it this way. This light comes out. It's hard to see. You see everything comes out like that, collapses down into the leg. Same thing over here. It's not super hard. It's just, it's pretty big. It's actually fun. It's a fun transformation. So again, you want to collapse this with one hand, like I'm doing. Usually you would use two, typically. Collapse this. Put it in here. So now it's collapsed. This, bring down like this. Turn this around. This is the foot. So you want to turn that around. And then this is the bottom of the foot. So put it down like that. Now though, with this like this, you turn it this way. And now you can clamp this up in here. It is, let me make sure. Yeah, this is the back. These are the back of the legs. You can tell because of this, the way this looks. You can't see that. It's the back. So if you have the legs, you leave the legs configured like that. You just want everything to match. So you turn it that way. Then you can clamp these together like this. Trying to show it. Make sure. So you just get it together and you have a leg done, basically. Besides the front, these things still have to clamp on to basically help it out. So let's do the same thing over here. Maybe I can show it a little more fluid, a little less instructional, and you could see it. So you bend that out. Make sure I'm on camera. Pull that up. Get this situated this side. Situated Bend that down. Get this situated. Turn this foot as it should be. Turn this like this. And turn this to face the back. And you know what I forgot to do? Pull that peg out. This is why I do it first. But I forgot to, so. Basically, legs done. Take these, self-explanatory. Lock them in place. Legs locked in. Raise it up a little bit so we can see this. And now, what I was talking about, why I didn't want to lock him in, which I did anyway. It's pretty hard. But make sure these flaps, make sure the flaps are down. These flaps are down. And lift this up. Actually, we'll lift this up too because that's where the wings are going to go. This up. Move these out because you're preparing to place this piece, and it's pretty self-explanatory. These two pegs right there. Also, there's pegs on his arm that these go into. I don't know if his back goes into 4 pegs in the back also. So, but it's pretty easy. You just where you put him is where you put him, and you slide him in, and then you can pretty much get it where it needs to be. Once you slide him in and close his arms, you're pretty set. If his arm is right, I don't know why his arm is looking like this. Okay. Just gotta make sure you have it correct. You try, I may have to block the camera, but I put them like that so you can, now these you bring down and they basically clamp him in so his arms don't move, he don't move, he don't go nowhere. Pretty much a tight fit. It's not going anywhere. Whew. So workout fooling with this guy. Get the wings. Make sure you have it oriented how you want it. Open these. There's 4 holes back here. He has holes. Put them in there. There we go. It's pretty tight when you put it in, so it's it kind of holds it until you can get it pegged in. It's pretty tight once it pegs in. He's good. I'll get him in some kind of stance so he can stay up. And last but not least, his arms. There's a flap right here that goes in. Want to make sure the elbow is like that. So, I mean, you don't have to move it like that, but you just want to make sure you have the pistons on the back when you put it in. I like to move it this way just so I know what orientation it's in. So then I can I can situate it the way I need it. This is wrong. This is wrong. Because having it like that, this is how I usually have it. Then I know that it's going down like this, and his elbow should be facing forward like this. So then I can put it up. But for the sake of showing you, I'm gonna do it like this, which is elbow should be pointing down. And it's a little difficult, but not hard. But once you get it in, it's pretty tight. So then, there you go. And that's what I mean by once you put it down and his arm is where, his shoulder is where it should be, you can move his arm. I'm gonna turn it how I want to have it so I know which way it should be. And also pull his head up so I can get some, so I get a look that I want. And there you have it. Gabriel, Omega Supreme, in all his glory. Do some comparisons. I think that's a pretty good comparison. I don't have a Devastator that I like. I have the Titan's Return, I believe, Devastator. It's the Hasbro one, main line, but I don't like that. I'm not gonna compare that. It's masterpiece. So, but there he is with Legends. As you can see, he's massive. He's massive against Optimus. So. And I have Superion, but he's the same height, just about as Superion for Zetas. So that's him next to a couple guys. Articulation is feet. He has a pretty good ankle rocker. And it's pretty strong. It does fail a little at times, but it's pretty strong. For about this big and heavy, it's hard to, he gets 90 degrees. Whoa, he almost fell. He gets 90 degrees, and I also love this knee. I love the piston. I love it. Like, I love the way it looks. That's one of the reasons why I got this over Fans Toys. Not that Fans Toys is a bad figure, but I just like some of those stylings. He has some he has some thigh swivel. I know some people be careful with these thighs. I never had issues with my legs or thighs or arms or anything, but some people have. It's hard to get him all the way out, but you can get these out the way, and it actually holds pretty well. As you can see, it did fail, but it's not bad. He can get all the way out. It's on a ratchet, and as you can see, he holds that too. It will fail though, but I don't know why you wouldn't want a big bot to do that anyhow, but for principle, it does. This opens up, and I didn't really show accessories, but this is one. I have his face in here, which is kind of messed up. I have his other face in his crotch. I don't like this face, but this is the other face you get. I don't know if I like his face sculpt on here either. It's not bad. It's painted well. It has the blue eyes. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. It has the blue eyes. Let me lift this up because there's a glare. Well, the whole thing is painted well. This I got off this guy who makes the 3D printed symbols for different figures on TFW, or TFW. The forum. It's pretty well known. I'm on there sometimes. So, like I said, you can see his face. It's more humanoid I think that's why I don't like it. Not that it wasn't humanoid, but I don't know, just something about it. But I just stuck this face in here when I first got it, and I never took it out because I never needed it to. I just didn't want to lose it. But I'll probably never sell this, but I didn't want to lose it just in case I would sell it. Elbow, not 90 degrees. I do like, actually, can you get 90? Yeah, you can get 90. What am I talking about? Yeah, you get 90 degrees on his elbow. I definitely like the sculpt that he has in his elbow. His shoulders go all the way around, but you got to get his arm. Yeah, and you can't see that. Like I was saying, his arm goes all the way around, but his arm hits his wings, so you gotta move it out a little bit to get it there. Now this, undo it to move him out. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. I take it off. So yeah, these wings, but they just, you have to have it a certain way. I only do one. So as you can see, you can have the long wing. Kind of breaks it up a little bit because it doesn't have those stylings on it. And so yeah, that's that. So his head, as I showed before, 360. You can pull this neck up. So bend him over a little bit so you can see him. So he does get some down, some up, no side to side, but it's all right. It doesn't break up the sculpt too much. He did come with batteries in his arm. I think this one. So he has the red light. I don't think batteries came over here, but I think he has the light over here as well. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know if the batteries are dead or if they never came in it. It never lit up. So his claws, articulation, he has 2 knuckles, basically. That and the outer knuckle, inner knuckle. I think that's cool, that's all you need. And the same articulation over here with the with everything. Yeah, so this is Omega, and I think it's a great figure. If you're gonna, I think they're on sale right now. I'm not sure, but I've been hearing, I did this review because I've been hearing a lot about like people asking in the Facebook groups and the different forums about what's the best to buy. Personally, for playability, I think Wei Jing's take is the best for that. I don't think look-wise it's the best at all. I don't think you can go wrong with either Fans Toys or this, which is Gabriel. I'll also leave a link in the description for the guy who did the Autobot symbol. I think he got a bunch of stuff now that he does. And I don't think it was really expensive. I can't remember how much I paid for it. Probably more than I should have, but it is a service. I believe he 3D prints them and paints them. I don't know, but it's never messed up. The only thing I don't like about it is it's a tiny bit off, and my OCD kicks in. Like a little tiny bit. People might not even notice it at all, but it's a little to the left more than to the right, and it bothers me. But I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's if it was off a little bit or if it's an illusion. Could be an illusion because of the way he painted it. Could be perfectly centered. I don't know. It looks perfectly centered on the camera actually, but in person it bothers me. But that's me. That's my issues. But yeah, I think this is a great figure. I don't think you can go wrong with this. And I heard it's on sale too at certain places that I don't know where. But this has been an Inflewence review, and I will get up with you. Like, scribe. I always say that. Like, subscribe, share, comment. I love talking to y'all about different stuff. So comment, you know, whatever. All right, get up with y'all.
Hip hop, I feel, I gotta say, who am I, you might say, influence, and I spit better than most in this game, provoking thought with no cocaine.